As a mom, it gives me anxiety. I'm a worrywart, obviously because I'm responsible for this little beautiful person I created. And
she's among the 1 in 4 Iowans worried about how they're going to survive. A few weeks ago, we told you about this special category of people who basically live between the margins. They make too much for public assistance, but not enough to really get by.
Yeah, tonight we're looking at the reasons behind the growth of this class and what can possibly be done to reverse the trend.
Hey.
Jen Durham spends every day like a lot of us do. Shuttling kids between home, school, and work.
She drives like a race car driver.
And trying to make a living in between.
Yeah, no time for messing around.
Jen is what the United Way calls ALICE, Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. 25% of Iowans fall into this category.
Those who are doing everything they're supposed to do, who are working, earning, paying taxes, but are still struggling to get by.
The first Iowa ALICE report was released in 2016 with a look back to the end of the Great Recession.
So now we can tell the story of what has happened from 2010 to 2016.
And what is the story?
The story is it's not getting better.
In fact, Deanne Cook explains that in every Iowa county, the number of people in the ALICE category keeps increasing.
There was a bounce back after the Great Recession, but wages have not recovered. And the cost of all of the items in the survival budget have increased significantly. So people have less money in their pocket and the expenses to make the family run are higher.
The main objective of the ALICE report is to raise awareness. It does show a need for higher wages, but there are lots of other ways employers can support their employees.
An employer talked about, we give gas cards in the first 2 weeks of employment, sometimes a simple schedule shift. So 2 parents working in the same organization, different shifts, had a problem with 15 minutes overlap between when mom had to get to work and dad had to leave work, and they were leaving their child alone in the car. The employer found that out, shifted, allowed that 15 minutes coverage, and it made all the difference for that family.
The report also helps show local groups where money and resources have the biggest impact.
And one program that United Way of Story County does is awarding vehicles to families, because in Iowa, having a vehicle to have employment is pretty much hand in hand.
Here's my aerobics I was just talking about.
All of the potential solutions are complex, but for Jen, the reality is simple.
After we've bought groceries and paid the bills and put gas in the car, we have expenses to do this. We're not a whole lot better off.
And Jen is referring to just 3 years ago when she and her family were homeless. Most of us don't realize that ALICE is all around us. They're the people making our daily coffee, taking care of and teaching our kids, working in hospitals. In our first story, we showed that detailed survival budget. The United Way has actually created an ALICE simulator. I'm going to post a link to it on my Facebook page, and hopefully we'll have it at WHOTV.com as well. So you can basically, this sounds terrible, but play the ALICE game and work your way through the month on these limited resources to see if you could make the budget work.
And I'm guessing people can't. And
No,
that's the point
that is the
of
point.
showing the simulator.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Thanks for revealing this segment of the population that is clearly growing. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have more stories to come too.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, a big story tonight is the weather. We've got strong thunderstorms moving through. Lots of lightning with these storms. And now more flooding concerns. We have flash flood warnings just to the east of us, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that will continue for a while. Here in Des Moines, the warning for Polk and Madison, Jasper counties have been eliminated, but 91 was our high today. That's a new record. At the airport, we've only had about 1/3 of an inch of rain, almost 2 inches of rain on the north side of Polk County. I'll show you where we're going to find this rain next and how long we'll have to worry about this flooding in our 7-day.